Hey everybody, welcome to Faulkan's second video. It's been a super long time since his first video. It was 8 months ago. I couldn't believe it when I looked that up. Whoops, that went fast. Um, Lee and I have been in constant contact, and I have just been knowing that we've had so many pictures built up that this video was going to take a lot of research for me to organize everything first, and so I kept putting it off, thinking I have to have a big chunk of time to organize all the pictures, and then that just, of course, makes it into a bigger project. So this is going to be a little bit longer video because we have a lot to cover. We have 8 months to cover, but we're going to go through it as quickly as we can and give you a good update on what's going on. Lee has been working super hard on Falcon, and there's a lot to report. So I'm going to start with this x-ray that she had taken last February. The last video was like last November-ish of 2023. So she had x-rays taken because she was still having a lot of issues with him back at the time of the last video. He was still sore, not sound yet, or maybe he was a little bit, but he was on and off. Now that was still early spring. So she was like, okay, I'm riding during riding season, like the peak riding season. She wanted to get him back going. So she did some things. She got x-rays done and she tried some shoes. We'll get through that part of the story as well. You can see here his coffin bone is sitting at the wrong angle because his heels are still too low. There's no support in the back, so the coffin bone is down at the wrong angle, too straight to the ground, which is what a farrier actually told me back in 2013-ish, that my horse's foot was supposed to be like this. And boy, did that make her unhappy. I'm sure that this little spot here is supposed to be larger, that these bones are getting, of course, smushed together in the front. And also, there was an issue going on with the navicular bone starting to actually get worn away. In this picture here, you can see it's marked right here where the navicular bone was starting to get worn away from everything being at the wrong angle for too long. So it was starting to get into serious territory here. And here's the other side here, the other view of the other foot. You can see the angles are all screwed up right in here. Coffin bone should not be this straight. Lots of things going on. If I knew more about x-rays down in here, I would be able to tell you guys even more. But I need to study my x-rays more so I can tell you more about the back of the foot in the x-rays. I'm sure all you people that do that will like to see this though. So that's why another reason why I put this on this video, because I know a lot of you are really good at reading x-rays. And maybe you can put some things in the comments that you see on this x-rays. So that was back the first part of April. Then this is from the end of April. So she didn't have the shoes on him yet. She was trying to kind of speed things up and make him more comfortable so he could go back to being in training. This is a picture she took the end of April. I want to show you guys. Obviously, you can see the heels. The bulbs are just pulled in on both sides from his massacring that happened to him when he was being trimmed by other people. Now, I can't remember if I have a markup for this one. Let me see if I have a markup for this one. Nope. Okay, so I'll just show you. I wanted to show you guys this one because right in here, this can be holding those bulbs together right in here. There's a little flap that wants to grow. It kind of, I don't know, I always want to call it a walnut, but I don't know why I want to call it that, but kind of looks like the edge of a walnut nut. So this little piece of cartilage will grow right in between these bulbs, and you got to slice this out right in here in order to let this be able to split apart better. Otherwise, this will just squeeze everything together and it won't let it ever spread. So look for that little flap. You'll see it. We can see it really easily in this picture. So I was coaching her on how to cut that out the last 8 months, and she's been doing really good with that. So this was back in April when she was still learning how to do that better. And this is a picture of when he got his shoes on. He got these special shoes with a leather pad on them. That was, she thought maybe this would give him some comfort so he could, be more comfortable in the daytime, and ridden or not, because she just was so upset about how he was moving at that time. I have a video to show you how he was moving at that time. This is taken from about that same time here. You can see him walking in very tentatively. Not good. He does not feel good. I'll have to go back and look at the date of this, but I think this is his shoes. So she was really, really concerned about how he was doing, which of course all of us always are with our babies as we are going through this stuff, right? So then she had these shoes put on him. Oh boy, boy, boy. Did that ever turn into quite the fiasco? So here's some pictures of him in his shoes. She has a trimmer that doesn't do shoeing. Then she hired this farrier that she's known for a while where she lives now, that's done shoeing for her before, come over and put these shoes on, and wow, what do you guys see? Okay, you take a minute, you guess, and you tell me what you see. I'll tell you what I see, okay? I see, well, first of all, I see bulbs that are coming out, which could be a result of the fact that Leah's been working on trying to get this part to expand for, at this point, it had been at least a good, May, June, July, a good 9 months or so that she had been learning tack. She started learning tack the fall before that, so it'd been all winter. So to me, I'm seeing bulbs are expanding and coming back, and the buttress still needs to grow down and fill in. Because when that's the stages that happen as we've seen with our tacked horses, that the cartilages will come out on the top and then it'll start to grow a buttress down. So that's a good sign that this was happening. And the buttress wasn't caught up yet, so she thought these shoes might help out, but you can see how much is missing here with my cursor. He needs a good inch of buttress back behind here to grow in and fill out all the way down and unfurl. And so the shoes actually caused him more pain. It was horrendous. She was fit to be tied. And she called the trimmer, the farrier, I mean, about 5 days after he put the shoes on, and asked her to come back and take them off, and he refused to come back. So that did not turn out too well. We'll get to that in a second, but I wanted to show you what was going on with the heels at that time, because this is a great shot of that cartilage piece here. You can see, obviously, we've got straight up bulbs. This is supposed to be almost straight across, not straight up like this. When your bulbs come up in a V and meet like that, that is not good. But she's got a little buttress growing, so that's good. She's got a little buttress coming in there. Now, this part right here, this little flap, this has to be trimmed out in what I have figured out with my horses, that you have got to get that out of there, because that will keep everything glued together. Well, Linda discovered it, and she taught me it. I applied it to my horse, Lana, and boy, did it help. Oh my God. So, if you guys see this little piece that kind of goes in between here, now how to slice it out. People are asking me, can I videotape this? I need to get it done when I have the ability to have somebody hold the camera for me because I have to do it with two hands. I have to pick up the foot and I got to slice it. So I don't have a hoof stand. So I don't have any way to film it when I'm by myself. So I'll get to it as soon as I can. But what you do is you take your hoof knife, sharpen it, get a sharpener. If you don't have one, get something to sharpen knives. They'll be like a diamond blade or a really fine round tube that they use like for sharpening kitchen knives. Um, I know that Riza, another tag member, he uses just the side of his file and he just slides his knives along that and sharpens his knives. So anyway, you really need a sharp knife and you slice it down. So if I'm left-handed, so I always slice this side because my blade is on the right side of my blade. So I have to have my blade down, my sharp side down. So I sharpen down like this and I slice this out just like I'm slicing a piece of shoe leather. You just slice down to here and then I flip my blade so that the sharp side is going up and then I carve underneath that. And then I'll just pull it. Once I get it loose, I'll pull it with my hand and hold it up. Then it can kind of come back in from this side and snip that off. So then this little piece down to here, all the way to the hairline, this little piece needs to come out, I have found. Don't slice too deep though. You don't want it to look like there's a ledge in your cartilage and you can see like pink skin underneath or something. And if you go too deep, it will bleed. So you got to be really tentative. You can always try a little bit and then try a little bit more. And you'll start to see the nice new skin underneath that's more clear. So you can kind of know after you've done it a few times. I'm getting a lot fast. I'm getting pretty fast at it now. And I've been doing it for, well, I started on my horse summer before last. So 2 years now I've been cutting that out. So here's another picture. Oh, here, I just did a markup on it. I just marked up where to cut that out so you guys could see that better. Okay, so this was end of April. Finally, her trimmer came and took the shoes off. Thank freaking God. Okay, here is a picture of the cartilage. Okay, I found this little key spot right here that I wanted to show you guys that if you see anything bridging across the little crack in the bulbs, just slice it. So all she would have to do is just take a blade and just cut that right there. And can you see how that would go? Like just whoosh, could just spread apart these bulbs. It's as simple as that. These little teeny pieces of periopal skin can really hold things hostage. Also, right here from the side, I can see the little bat wings that are glued down to the frog. You'll see two triangular shaped pieces of cartilage that grow like flaps. These will grow in a week. They'll come back in a week. So I just checked my horse. I trimmed her a week and a half ago, I think it was, and she's got them back again. They grow so freaking fast. So you're going to want to look for those and trim those out. It's really, really, really going to help you a lot. Okay, let me see what else I have here. Same picture as before. I wanted to show you what was missing on the heels on that one. Okay, let's see what I have here. Oh, just another angle of that same picture to show you things I want you guys to see to do as well. Here's another view of the what I call locked in. This little piece right here. Just slice it down the middle right there. Cut it right there so it can split apart. And then once again, look for these little flaps right here at the back of the frog. This is an extra piece that I've noticed in the wet season. So now I can see it in the dry. But you guys might not see it as easily in the dry season where you live because this is summer. But you'll see it once you start cutting it. You'll be surprised. It's not as hard as it seems, but you got to get underneath the hard part first and you can peel it off. So once again, super sharp knives or pre-soak your feet or get them right after it rains. Up in Minnesota, I've been able to get them pretty much every trim. Now, even in we haven't had a super bad drought yet. This year we had a nice wet spring, so we'll see how that goes with the rest of summer. And then, of course, she can carve a little bit more here on this frog, a little bit more here on this frog, and take this dead frog off right here. She's doing really good at getting her apex of her frog. We're going to work more on more with the bars. That is kind of phase 2 here that we're working on. Okay, and here I traced it with something pink so you guys can see the two things that you need to look for at the back of your frogs. And let's see, I got this one to show you. Same thing, different angle. You can find those little things. Now, that's actually overlaid over top of the frog. When you take that out, you will see behind there is this nice, fresh, beautiful frog skin underneath there. It's not going to go to the inner foot or anything. If you go really deep, it would. So make sure you know it's a flap that is stuck over the frog. You guys will see it when you get to it. I am missing, let's see, oh, I gotta scroll up. Okay, so now we're getting into May 2nd. Look at, there's space happening here. Look at that. Look at that. Will you look at that? And look how this does not seem as smushed up, does it? As soon as she took those shoes off. This is why I tell people, if you have contracted heels in your horse, the last thing I want you to do is put shoes on, if you can help it. Why? Because it sucks everything together. Have you seen the difference in this foot already since those shoes were taken off? Oh my gosh, that is a huge difference. Let's go back to those shoes again. I think it was shoes 2. No, let's see, shoes 2. No, let's see, shoes 1. Yeah, shoes 1. Look at this. Ta-da! Sucked up tight. Sucked up tight. Now, let's go back again and look at, as soon as she got those shoes off. Let's go back and look at those. Where were we? Here? Yeah, here. Yep. Look at that. Does not look further apart. She was saying before that this was so close together, they were shoved up tight. She couldn't even get a knife blade in there. Now look, she's got quite a bit of room happening there. So, things are moving in the right direction. Now we've got this one. I want to talk about some stuff here. Once again, this looks like it's real close together right in here, but when we look at the heel shot, things were starting to split apart there. And I wanted to discuss the flap of the bars right here in the seat of the corn. I think this might be the pre-trim. Hold on a minute. May 2nd sole shot. No. Okay, let's go back to that. Side shot marked up. Okay, what's this one? Okay. I don't know what she's doing now, but this is back in May. I want you to know that there's a lot of bar right here that you're probably not noticing. This is a big flap of bar that when you start trimming this, if it was winter and there was snow on this, it would clean this foot up perfectly, and you would see this is actually quite a bit of flapped bar right here. When you see a big ledge like that, that's really, really prolifically big like that in the bar area, you start carving here, you will see you will be able to keep going and going and going and going until you don't have this part of the bar sticking over the sole anymore. So this is pushing the heels forward and keeping those heels not back underneath the back of the foot where they need to be able to grow new buttress and expand back, because we want this capsule to expand backward. And these bars are pushing everything forward. So we're going to start paying more attention to this part of the foot and really cleaning that out well. Also, the seat of the corn right here, what happens is this also adheres over the sole and starts creeping up forward. And so all this will make those heels look like they're run forward from the side shot, which this foot really, really, really is. So you have to be really diligent with cleaning this part out. So you take your hoof knife and you carve that out back to about here. So you're guiding, what you're doing is you're guiding the bar back to the back of the buttress so it can adhere back here, not up on the sidewall. The bar wants to migrate forward and stick to the sidewall of the hoof instead of the back of the buttress. See this curled forward buttress right in here? This needs to come out and get straight and start growing new buttress. So it's getting there, but this is still curled around. So she's going to start to clean this out better, and then that will be, if the bars go down to here and around to here, that is going to really help the heel start to come back, because it needs to come back. So that's going to be a huge help. Then we're going to go to this one. All right. So I have been harping on Lee, and she has been very good about using her own judgment. And I always just say that. I'm like, it looks like it needs more off, but use your own judgment. So she didn't want to make him sore. She didn't want to bind his foot up. So she was being very, very, very slow with backing up the toe, which is totally, she knows her horse best. So, however, you'll see what happened last night, and you'll be pretty excited. So, this looks a lot better than it has in the past. We have some old photos that are fun to go back and see, like this one from 2017. Let's look at that one. Oh my freaking God, people. How did that horse walk? Did he walk? I can't believe he could even walk. The front of that foot is slipping forward from the pressure because there is so much compacted inside of here. Look at that foot curving. Also, as Linda teaches us, don't file down the front of the wall because it's like taking a dam and thinning out the wall of the dam. What's going to happen to the front of the foot? It's just going to collapse outward, collapse forward. It's just all bad. Instead of backing the toe up enough before he put the shoe on, he just puts the shoe on a fairly long toe and just files the front of the wall back. He should be taking something from underneath the toe. Look, it's curling forward. It's so much extra toe under here that it's curling forward. And the heel, excuse me, where's that? Sideways and forward. And what are we getting here? We're getting waves of lines. When you get this S curve, this means what, people? I'll give you a minute to say. Okay, everyone's saying. All right. You follow this lamini at the high point, follow it to the ground. There's your spot that's too long. Hey, I just realized that. This could be a marker we could use. Where your spot is the highest, where your hairline is the highest, follow the lamini down. There's where you're perpetually leaving it too long. Ta-da! In the pillars. This is so common. So, pillars and toes, way too long. That's just a mess. That whole foot is just a mess. Good thing we're not looking at that today. Look how much better that foot looks now. Holy Hanoverian. Look at that heel area. Look how much that Lynn's work, or look how much Lee's work has improved this foot. Now we're going to start getting to the fun part. Okay, so this is what's been happening. Heading the right direction big time. Here's how much I thought she should take off. So see that extra toe hiding underneath my black mark? And how much she took off? I want to open that Gmail again so you guys can see that opened up side by side. So let's open up that side by side. And we will be able to compare those two pictures together. What was the one I just had? What was I looking at? This one? Oh, I wanted to look at the one that wasn't. Oh, yeah. Side shot that wasn't marked. So, a couple minutes before that, this one. Let's compare this one with This one. Look at the difference. This one and what happened to the other one? There. Pull that one down. Pull that one down. That one compared to that one. Okay. Look at the two different feet. So I've been working with Lee to train her eye. So this is a new thing that she's really working on and getting really good at looking at the foot and knowing how much to take off. So what happened in the course of the last 8 months, I can see from the pictures, is she would get it almost good and short in the front, and then she'd get busy or something would happen, and he would grow really fast. And I looked at the next pictures, and I'm like, oh, like 3 months later, his foot looks like a lot longer than it did 3 months before. So I think there's just been a little variance going on there with his training schedule and her trimming schedule, and another trimmer coming in and supposedly doing him then. So now we're getting a consistent eye here. Can you see how much less duck-footed this looks? This is still a very slipped foot syndrome foot here on the left, which I talk about in other videos. And when she starts taking off this, how much different that's going to look, and what is that going to do to those bones? Do you see how the toe is pushing the foot and the hairline up in the front? And so when you take off the toe, what happens? The foot can sit more at a natural angle. I rotated this one a little bit after I put the black on it. Maybe I didn't. I don't think I did. But anyway, this is a huge comparison. I thought this was pretty good. So we're really getting somewhere here with what's going on. See, did I put them both back? Hold on a minute. This one needs to go back. Okay. Okay. So almost to the timeline here. It's July. We're almost to the end here. This one was very interesting. This is a year ago in a shoe. Excuse me? Excuse me. A year ago. What was going on is our question, right, chat members? What was going on? Although, if it's a ways out from a trim, some horses can get, we've seen horses that are that long, but boy, does it look better now, huh? It looks so much better now. I don't know what was going on here, how long this was from the trim, but boy, we're not analyzing the past, so, let's save some time. But you guys can see the major improvements that are being made, how this heel is so far forward because nobody's trimming underneath that seat of the corn. They're leaving the toe too long. It's curving forward because it's stuck in a shoe. And oh, what kind of pain this must have caused this poor, poor, poor horse. Okay, let's go back to where we were. Where were we? And why is this all blue? Why is that all blue? It's bugging me. Okay, I wanted to show you this one. You can see a little spot here on where to slice. When you have this little piece here, and then there's a little outline of the butterfly flap. I can see it because I know it when it's wet, and I look for it, and I can see it in every foot. Right there. Trim that out and trim that down right to the hairline. That little nubbins right there, you got to open it up. So you just give a very, very shallow cut right there and right there with your knife. Just start at the top, kind of work your way in there. But I'm telling you what, this really, 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 really helps relieve pain in super bound up heels. So I wanted to show you that again. Let me see what else I have here. Pre-trim June 20, super bound up shoes, April. Yeah, we went through this one already. Yep. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. May 6th. Did we do this one? No. This is another one from May 6th. So I've been working with her on how to identify this. And this, these could be pre-trim pictures. So the stuff that she's trimmed has grown back again because she has done a lot of work with trying to find something that can fit in here. She used some yellow, like more heavy duty, like a tin nipper that had like a heavier duty or blade to get in there and snip it. She's been trying lots of different things to get that out. So that probably just grew back again. That's probably a pre-trim photo, but I just wanted to show you guys a lot of different angles so you can start to identify. When you look at the foot, you'll feel confident about what you need to take out. Obviously, he could use some more heels, huh? It's coming, though. It's coming. Okay, let me see what else I have here. I want to go back to the toe callus and show you guys this one. What was happening is she had this toe callus showing up. Now, this is in May. And this was showing up here. And that was because the toe was being left too long, consistently for too long of a time. And so this extra tissue grows because of the stress on the foot. And once again, the foot is trying to keep itself together. It's trying to keep itself sound. And so it's like, ouch, this is stressing me out. This hurts when I walk on this. It's putting a lot of stress right here. Because think about that now. Once again, if you put on duck shoes and I made you wear those for a month straight and never take them off, that would really screw you up, wouldn't it? That really long front to the shoe would screw up how you walk, and it would screw up all the bones in your whole foot and your legs and everything, all the way up to your all the way up to your head. So that's what was happening here. I also want to show you, this is a really good picture on the seat of the corn area and these heels that are the bars causing the heels to stay run forward. So all this here is keeping the back of the foot run forward. So it's really, really important to get up through here and carve this out. This is excess tissue overlaid over top of the sole. You have to carve that back. So you take those bars and you start carving the bars until you don't have a flap anymore. Then that's where you line up your seat of the corn. Once you get the bar back and you get all the big flap out of the bar, then you'll know, oh my gosh, I can also clean out the seat of the corn to match up to the edge of the bar. Okay? All this right here, this is what's keeping that heel forward. When she gets in here, take this out, carve this up a lot higher. Get that out right there. There is like where your buttress should be attaching with the bar. Right up in here, not way down here. You want to be up to like here. So also, when you see a lot of cracks going on in your sole, make sure that you exfoliate that. And I don't know if she's ordered the Evo Bar and Sole Rasp yet, but I love the EVO Bar and Sole Rasp. It works really great for exfoliating sole. I don't use a grinder yet. I don't really feel the need for a grinder right now. I'm doing really good with my Evo Bar and Sole Rasp and my knife. And I trim out in the boonies where I don't have a power cord close by. I don't have cross ties for my horse, and they're not trained for the grinder, so I just haven't really done that with these horses. I do fine with it. If I didn't have the Evo Bar and Sole Rasp, so that would be another story. Okay, so this is a post-trim picture, I believe. I'm not sure if it's post-trim. She sends me a lot of pictures where she just picks up the foot and sends them to me. Here she was sending me some bruising in the sole that was going on. So it might not be fresh trim pictures all the time with her. Once again, what do you see here? We see a little flap that needs to come out right there. So it could be a week or so out from the last trim. Looks like she touched up a few things. Sometimes she'll touch up one or two things in a day and then she'll put the foot back down. So I do want to say though, just to show you guys that this part right in here, I'm gonna work with her diligently now to make sure this is all taken care of. This needs to be carved out more. So she needs to take her knife and start on this side, carve back, 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 until you are done with the flap that's flapped over the sole underneath here. So that's a ledge right there. That's a bunch of bar. And I think that she started doing that since this photo. So she was getting bruising happening. She was starting to get some issues because he was back into work. He was sound again. He was being ridden. And this was causing stress to the front of the foot. But let me show you how well he did. This was July 4th. So this is right after all these pictures were just taken. Look at the lovely, lovely Faulkan on July 4th. I have another one of him on the grass. I gotta find it. I just realized I'm missing another video. But look at him, back to work. Look at him. That was only 2 months after that picture where he wouldn't even walk. Look at him. This is because she's been opening up the back of the foot and taking back toe. I can't believe how well he's looking here for how much toe he still had. He still had quite a bit of toe. Look at how well he's doing. He really wants to work. He's a horse that loves his job, and he's very happy to be back at work. Such a great video. So good to see that. So that's where he has been. Oops, I better shut the video off. It's replaying. I'll just push my space bar. No, I can't. There we go. Okay. So look at that. Look at how great she's been doing and how great he looks there. He's just floating around. I'll find you the other video too, you guys, but I'll have to pause the video to find that one. Okay, so here's one from July, the middle of July, where I noticed it looks like his toe's going back to too long again. So I don't know if it's the angle of the fisheye lens on the camera or if it's actually that the foot was going back, but I believe that it kind of migrated back to being too long, because when she started to measure it, she was getting 4 inches from here to the tip of the toe, which would be 4.5 to the ground. So, and she had him a 1/2 inch shorter before that at times, I'm pretty sure. But so here he was still too much toe, too much toe, too much toe, too much toe. But look how much better the back of this foot looks. Remember how it collapsed forward and how there was such a big bulge right here in the foot? That bulge is straight now. It's gone. Remember that little ridge right here, how bulgy it was and how this was laying down straight when he had that shoe on? If not, you guys just back up the video because I want to save time. So I'm not going to flip back to that picture. But you guys can go back and compare and you can see how much better that is looking. I wanted to show you this one to show you the collapsed heel. So there, see, you can see it more on this side. See how this is all sideways right here? That's what we're going to work on, really being diligent. When you do that seat of the corn area and the bars underneath, like I just showed you 2 minutes back on the video, this part will start to stand up right in here. That's what that fixes. When that bar attaches too far forward, it pulls this down and forward. So, and see how the line goes to the ground. This should go more to about back here like this and just go around the foot. And this should be sitting up, you know, another inch higher. So we're going to keep releasing this back of the foot so all these cartilages can stand up and this hairline can be more straight like this instead of dive bombing right here. So this is a huge pressure point spot that happens with a lot of people's horses, and a lot of people have a difficult time getting this part to come back. So you just keep following Faulkan and you'll start to see how this can really, really help. But look at after the trim, she took more off the toe. She's been getting more brave, and look how much better that already looks there. So let's go to, I want to show you this one here. I noticed it looks like she's growing new buttresses right here. I think is what I wanted to show you guys here. I also wanted to show you this big flap of the bar. So this needs to go bye-bye, bye-bye, bye, bye-bye-bye. And this right here needs to go bye-bye, bye, 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 bye. Now, these can get flapped fairly quickly. I'd say like 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, you can get this much flap on your bars. So this is not a fresh trim photo here. She just picks it up once in a while, like I said, and sends me pictures of various things. So looks like she was scribing her soul, doing some stuff with that, and wasn't working on bars that day. But I would not leave those for any length of time. We're going to get diligent on this. We're going to really kick this down so these can come back further and grow more. And then also, once again, let's peek for those flaps. Ooh, there I see it. There's a triangle right there. There's a triangle right there. And there's a little bunch of cartilage right in there. So you got to clean that out right there. And you got to look for that little flap. Okay? I'm just going to show it to you. That's like the theme of the night. But look how much it's helping Faulkan. This is the one I wanted to show you guys. New buttress. I believe I am seeing, ta-da, I think I'm seeing new buttress coming down. I see that ledge right there. This is new buttress coming in. And I don't know if it's new to here, if this whole piece is new, or how that's working. I need to ask Linda about this ledge. Maybe we need to discuss that. But all I can say is, I would say that's looking very promising right there. And then I had some ones that went to the wrong email. They're over in this email that I was going to show you guys. I think that's everything. I need to see where my newest ones went because they didn't come through. So there's some of the old stuff. Let's see if there's a ledge here on this one. Let's see if I can open image in a new tab. No, let's see if I can zoom it in. No. Okay. Let's save it. Doesn't want to do anything. Okay, let me pause the recording for a minute. I also found these pictures. I have some pictures that I have to check and see where they are. And this is one of them I see here. Some of them didn't get emailed through. I have to go re-email them and I'll pause the recording again. But I wanted to show you this heel improvement. So see how I was saying how before when those shoes were on, how that heel was just laying down practically on the floor, right? Look how much better that heel looks just from January to February of last year. That is wonderful. Just wonderful. How much better that looks right there. Now I want to look from the other side. This side, or if this is a different foot, I'm not sure, but this heel is a little bit more collapsed than this area. I don't know. I noticed every time she shows me this side, there's that bad spot there. So this might be this one side of the heel is worse. But either way, it's a good example. And I was going to look at this one with you guys and see if we can see any evidence of a new buttress growing down from the top. So let's see if we can. Sure looks like it to me. I would say this much right here is a new buttress growing in, and it's coming back. So this is going to start coming down to the ground. See where it's bulging out there? It started to grow down thicker and straighter. So right under here is going to grow more buttress, and that's going to start to support the back of the foot. So yay! And yes, it was the other foot that has the worst heel on the inside side of the picture of the foot here. Because I'm seeing here's a January to February picture of that same foot I was just wondering about with the worst heel right in here. But it's already improved quite a bit since Lee's been doing his trimming and instead of other people being in charge of him. So she was looking at some differences here. And look at, I noticed here is the cartilages. This could be the angle with the camera too. But when you do get a big bulge like that kind of sticks out, and you're not just starting new with the horse that's never been trimmed by you before, and you've been trimming it for a while, and you start to see a ledge come out like that that you didn't see before, that can be the first stages of the cartilages moving back. Because what Linda has discovered is that the cartilages will tend to move back first, and then the hard part of the capsule will grow from that point. So that could be evidence again of that happening with Lee's horse here. Here's a fun photo. As I'm uploading the video I want to show you guys in a second, here's from July 2020. She was trying everything to get that horse sound. So looks like she was at an equine podiatrist office. And once again, this is what I tell people. People come and tell me and say, well, I went to the vet and the vet said my horse might have navicular. Or I went to the vet and my horse said my horse will always have thin soles. I went to the podiatrist and they prescribed this special shoes for my horse. And the first thing I say is, if you're not doing a tacked trim on that horse, everything you tell me is really irrelevant at this point in time. Secondly, if you're listening to a professional about your horse that does not know what tact is, the anatomically correct trim, TACT, if they do not know what tact is, then their opinion of what they're telling me, what's going on with your horse, is also taken with quite a grain of salt. Because some things they're going to say are going to be factual and information that I would agree with. And a lot of things they're going to say are going to be things that are being said because they don't know what they don't know. So if that equine podiatrist does not know tact, does not understand the anatomically correct information that Linda knows, then I'm only going to listen to so much of what they say. What I'm seeing here is, once again, somebody filing off the front of the foot. You know the story with Faulkan. This is whoever did this to him. He's been this way for several years. All of us have had our horses this way. It's what happens. That's why we're all here. Slip forward feet. Let's fix them with a Band-Aid. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, you guys. This is my ingenious way of showing you the older video because it's in WhatsApp and I'm trying to email it and it's not going through. So I just holding up my phone to the camera on the computer. So you can see, Lee sent me this one and she said, even better. He looks even better here. So look at him floating on that grass. This was still with a 4-inch toe, 4.5 to the ground. But he is an 18 hands tall horse. But this is still so great. He's barefoot and he's sound. He can go back to, now he can't go to his normal training yet. He's not jumping yet. But this is really, really good. And we're going to get him there really soon. Okay, I want to end with this as well. This is from last night. Lee sent me this picture. She dared to take the toes back to 3.5 inches to the toe or 4 inches to the ground. Remember, he's 18 hands, so he might need a slightly bigger capsule than a 15-hand horse is going to need. But look how good that looks. That's a 3.5 inch toe. He had that little notch in the front of his foot. That's growing out. So just so you know, she did not put that there. That is from a crack that came because the toe was left too long and he had a stress crack happen. So looks like we'll have to see how this side of the toe is looking. It could just be the picture. Looks like it might be a little long on this side. So we'll have to check her measurements on that and see when she goes from the center of the toe over 2 inches here and measures. We'll see if that's the same as this side. But this is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Look at the difference. So once again, let's end with this other footage, full screen of Falcon back to work, looking relaxed on the bit. Can't wait to see what comes from here. Now, when I met Lee a year ago now, she was saying it was a year ago, so must have been a year ago. She tried to take him on a trail ride, and he was misbehaving so badly that he was rearing up, and she was afraid to take him out on the trail. And she realizes now, looking back on it, he was just trying to tell her very, very loudly that he was in such discomfort that he couldn't do it. And a lot of horses will do this. Look at him now. He certainly isn't objecting now, is he? So that's pretty exciting. We'll keep it going. Hopefully 6 months from now, he'll be back into his full-time jumping schedule. I don't see any reason why it can't be, in my opinion. We're just, now that she's got the toe back to where it's going to be, she said he was licking and chewing tonight, or last night when she was trimming him. She said he was standing better at the end of the trim than he was at the beginning of the trim. That means instant relief. She saw the instant relief when she brought the toe back to where she dared to take it, and she's so happy she did. So, and this is with the long toe. So hopefully we'll have an update really soon with some more videos and more progress with the opening of those heels. Can't wait to see some buttresses growing in and those heel bulbs really starting to expand. So yay for Lee, you're doing a great job. Have a great day, everybody. See you in the next one.